Oh boy. So that was a thing. Hi everyone for returning. This is just proof that the cosplay that Joe does is just too good. The stream got shut down for some reason. There's a first time for everything.
Wow.
But yeah. I think
we'll see how long we go for now.
We'll be like, oh my gosh, they're back again.
People aren't evaluating these streams anymore. Everyone at home, people are no longer monitoring these streams. So it's algorithms. And evidently the algorithm believed that we had broken some type of copyright issue. We have not. I can assure you that we have not. Everything that you are seeing is our intellectual property. We made all this stuff. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. But you know what? We're back. You're getting 2 shows in one here today. And we're going to do our best to entertain you. So let's continue with fresh faces.
And this is Joe saying, take that, YouTube.
Yeah. Pow! Pow!
Photoshop the logo into it.
YouTube getting
yeah. Kick us out? Oh, kick you back.
Exactly. Throat kicks.
That is freaking impressive that you can even move like that. I'm not flexible.
Looking good, girl.
Thanks. You can do it. Just a little at a time. Just stretch out. Just keep stretching.
Every day during COVID, get a little bit higher, a little bit higher.
Yep. Start with like a countertop. And then see if you can bend your leg that is on the ground.
Seriously overestimating my abilities.
Or I'm just confident that I know you can do it.
Oh, I like that one better. Oh, we'll keep you apprised as to the success of that.
Of your stretching?
Yeah. This is the content the people want.
Oh boy.
Like being flexible though, that has to have lots of advantages for cosplay. I've not thought of that.
It does, but I'm also a klutz, so I don't do well in flat shoes. I trip and fall, and it's awful.
Wait, in flats? You're good in heels, but not flats?
Yeah.
Well,
let's mention again how tall she is. So it could be just a matter of elevation. You know, the air is thinner. Up by Joe's.
Troy.
The algorithm had no problem with vibrating lightsabers and men enjoying being merged with women in transporter accidents, but crafted costumes is just too much.
It's so perfect. It's so perfect. That might be a tweet later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, Troy? Right? Everybody should be tweeting Troy.
Oh man, but yeah, no, being doing like martial art cosplays, that is something I would hurt myself doing. I hurt myself just actually making the cosplays. Actually, one of my most famous cosplays, I love it. There's this wonderful scar that I have because I was so against going to the emergency room. I was using a kitchen knife to cut open a spherical Christmas ornament. It was a large ornament, and it was very poor. Yeah, as one does. It was poor planning. And I sliced through to my finger, and I hadn't had a tetanus shot in like 10 and a half years. So my work actually said, you can't come back until you go to the hospital. And so I ended up with a pretty nice scar and no stitches. So yeah, there's some clumsiness on my cosplay end. Peggy has a fun question.
Oh, I can answer that one first. I actually will not buy the shoes unless they fit perfectly. And I will dye them or I will shop around, but unless they feel amazing, I won't buy them. So I actually don't stretch my shoes. There's just too much at stake, especially if you're going to do a public appearance and that you're standing for just too long. So actually, either they fit like a glove and I love them, or I don't buy them. I'd rather dye them or get a new pair. How about you, Joe and Katie?
So for my Batwoman, I had found these really nice small heeled boots, and they ended up not. Wow, your Andorian is great.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. She kills it.
So we can't get into trouble here because the algorithm should know that everything in this costume was made by me by hand. I did not purchase anything. None of this was made by anybody else. It belongs to me.
We're talking to the algorithm. This is when you know it's gotten too far.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, so you both wear heels for that costume.
Yeah. So I then it wasn't comfortable, and like Raquel said, when it's not comfortable, you don't. I even tried stretching them out, and after 2 hours of wearing them, my feet had swollen, and we couldn't actually get the boot off. My fiance had to really pull at my foot, so I went online and got orthopedic boots, basically, because I was going to be in that costume sweating and obviously expanding because of sweat. And so I got comfortable soled shoes, basically. Yeah, there's no, oh my God, when they don't fit right, oh.
Oh yeah, and especially if you're walking around a con, because you can walk miles and not even know it. Next thing you know, you're trying to sit down and your legs just won't work.
Yep. I've done that costume with the DCW, the DC CW 50. So it's the channel for CW as Batwoman, and we went to a festival, and it's all concrete, and it was outside in the sun, and I almost passed out from the cowl and the shoes. So there was no way. I was like, one or the other has to go, and I can't get rid of the cowl. So.
Yeah. So with your guys' cosplays, like my cosplay, I can maybe do like a 1-inch heel, 2-inch heel. What's the max size and heel you can go? Also, PJ, what's the max size heel you think you can walk in?
I'll let PJ go first there.
Gotta include you.
Pass.
For me, there is no limit. I grew up in a professional band and a touring band. Everybody in my family, they're professional musicians. And so I grew up around the stage and stuff. So I've been wearing high heels my whole life. I have no limit. I do have one trick though for everyone at home, and that is that wedge heels. You can pretty much wear them forever. They don't hurt. They're really wonderful. And you know what? People don't actually notice that you have a wedge in your heel. So it's the one costume break that you can make to the canon of the cosplay you're doing that people don't mind. Plus, most of the time you're taking pictures straight on. And when you're taking pictures straight on, they can't tell if the heel is correct to canon or not. So it's just better in my experience to just go with the wedges, because then you can really stand around and not your back won't hurt and your feet won't hurt if you go with wedges.
That's good advice. Solid advice. I've seen people at cons, they kind of do what they do with prom, where they bring flip-flops, and when they're just done, they're done. And you just see like someone is a Mandalorian walking around in blue flip-flops. You're like, oh, that kind of kills the vibe, but I understand.
Take a picture from the knee up. It's fine.
Exactly. There's a reason we can crop. It's
and insoles help too. I'm sure I speak for all the ladies on this panel when I remind you that a pair of really expensive insoles from the drugstore help immensely. And also, if you're going to be wearing thigh-high boots, you know, it's a good idea to put on a pair of men's 100% cotton sports socks. No one will ever know you're wearing them. They give you extra padding. They allow your feet to perspire, and they just overall feel super-duper comfortable. But yes, shoes are a major issue. So if you can just use those little tricks that Joe and I gave you, you will be happy.
Now, I know people say that shoes are uncomfortable, but they also say prosthetics are uncomfortable. And you guys have clearly done prosthetics. How do you have any advice for how to make it, I guess, more bearable so that you aren't just sitting in your own misery? And sweat, probably a lot of sweat.
Joe, did you want to take this one first?
I can take it. For my Klingon, I use a foam latex instead of just hard latex. Hard latex will gather all of your sweat. and it'll eventually pool and be gross, and there will be a crack somewhere in the seal, and you will have it dripping into your eye or down your nose, and it's gross.
Klingons don't cry.
So I use the
Klingons don't cry.
Yeah, it warm sweat that's pooled is not very appealing.
Yeah.
Grosses me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, foam latex is what I've used. I've used for my Madame Vastra, Maggie made a face cast on my face, and she made thin latex pieces. So we did a combination of makeup tricks and actual scaled latex to fit on my face so I can move. So that was more bearable than having the latex just suck my face.
Yeah. Scaled latex is really important. And earlier in the cast, somebody had asked the question, where do you blow your budget? And I was saying, my prosthetics. A good pair of ears will cost me shipped to my home from the United States, FX Warehouse or another person who's made high quality, like $100 Canadian. So, and but you have to understand, they last for years if you take good care of them, and they feel like a dream. And when you're wearing scaled prosthetics, like Joe said, this is why we blow the money on it, because it feels so good. And then you're actually able to enjoy yourself in the cosplay. So yeah, as a makeup artist, I'm gonna say that what Joe said is exactly what I would have said. Scaled prosthetics, high-end prosthetics, make sure you don't have a latex allergy, and go and talk to experts about lightening your load. Kiri Howard makes a lot of her stuff out of foams, and then she uses paints and tricks, artistic tricks, to make them look like metal and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just totally agree with Joe. It is a mixture of disciplines. You gotta understand latex. You gotta understand makeup, and you also have to understand what your costume's made out of, and sort of bring it all together so that you don't suffocate in a bag of nasty sweat. Because I, like Joe, that gets my gag reflex going. You want to be footloose and fancy free and having a good time. So you got to plan this stuff out. Like I said earlier, all three of us on the panel here, we just don't wake up one afternoon and make a cosplay and then go and show up in it. Like Joe and Katie, I fail. I fail at certain ideas. I retry things. I innovate different things. And it's a long time coming down the pipe.
And I think one thing that's really interesting that I found with recent cons is that you're getting people who make these prosthetics, quality prosthetics too, and you can get them at cons, and you can actually talk to them about the process of, okay, how did you make this? What's in it? What's going on? And I think that's one of the places that I really like to go to look at prosthetics instead of online, because you can't really get a good grasp on it unless you make your own. It's a little tricky. So that's one of the places, if you want to actually know what's in your prosthetic and know a lot about it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Katie. That's a brand new thing to cons. We never used to have that before. Now we have that. Katie is right. There are usually makeup artists and prosthetic people demoing the stuff. And sometimes you can even show up without your face done, and you can ask them what they have on hand, and you'll be able to choose, and you can pay them to do it, and then you just sort of walk away with your prosthetics. So not only does somebody do your makeup for you, but you gain your prosthetics and the knowledge of how to do it. And that's a relatively new thing at a con. So, Katie's right. Go look around and see if you can find that person. If you're not going to do workshops.
I can see that really taking off in future cons.
Yeah. Look at this.
This is a great costume, Joe.
On our show.
For people who aren't familiar with G.I. Joe, do you want to tell them who it is?
Yes, so this is Scarlett from G.I. Joe. She is the intel or counterintelligence officer. She's usually either the love interest of Duke or Snake Eyes. But this is the original '83 version of her, and she Larry Hama had drawn her, and she was more, how do I say this? She's one of the early females heroes that wasn't a superhero, but was a very independent and part of a group with men in a male-dominated field. So, yeah, she was one of my childhood heroes. So
Beautiful. You look absolutely stunningly beautiful.
That's such a fun feeling though, when you embody one of your characters.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Look at your fresh face. You look so good. Your skin looks so nice in this picture. Great, great, great.
Sometimes I notice that if I'm tired,
perfect
costume, I can either like I feel my face like glowing, or if I'm like at the end of the day and somebody takes a picture, you could see the difference. Really, you're like fresh and excited and like, yes, I'm in this character, and oh my god, I just want a sandwich. Why are you taking this?
Yeah, or the worst, like if you have to drink out of a straw and then you're like, oh no, I have to go touch up my lips. Damn it. But yeah, when you first get there and you feel like you're like you have that pregnancy glow where you're like, I'm giving birth to this cosplay. And then like 7 hours later you're like, oh my god, wine. Yeah, so true. Wine and sandwich. Wine and burger.
Now, actually, would love to hear cosplays. For you guys, how long does it take for you to get into them? Because I know the ones that I do, it usually takes about an hour. Oh, I hear an echo from someone as well. Now it's gone. Okay, that's good.
Do you want to repeat your question? I only got
frozen.
How long?
Oh no. No, I'm not. Okay. So how long does it take for you to get into cosplay? Like, do you have to get up super early? Some are clearly more rigorous than others, but on average, how long would you say it takes?
Raquel, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
I'll go first. We'll just go in order down the panel. It depends upon how labor intensive it is and if I'm wearing prosthetics or not. My average Vulcan showing after I completely disappear my eyebrows and then put on my ears and do my makeup and my wig and all that stuff, maybe a maximum of an hour and a half. And then when I go full scale Andorian or I'm doing something like the Aaliyah probe, I'm looking at about 3 hours.
Wow. See, you have to have help with that too. But I want to look at Peggy's question here, because this one was really big at C2E2 back in February. Was conventions are getting really good at making sure that you ask for consent to take a picture with someone. And you know, I've heard cosplayers, myself included, who have good stories and horror stories about that. Have you guys had any mixed experiences with that? And any advice for anyone who doesn't quite maybe understand the whole ask for consent to take a picture thing?
I usually have a vibe of don't come near me. But I do want to say hi to John Paladin. He is watching, and he is a master makeup artist, and I love him very much.
Welcome, John.
Awesome.
And he does my Vulcan ears when I get to see him in Vegas. So,
cool.
Alex, if you need Vulcan ears, John Paladin.
You're making
definitely check that out.
I'm in. I'm always looking for the best Vulcan ears. And for me to answer that question, Katie, so I don't know. Sometimes it happens in cycles. You have people who walk up to you and they're like, do you mind if I take your picture, or can I stand with you? And then there are other people who feel like because you're dressed in cosplay that they could do whatever they want to you because you're like, I don't know, like a celebrity at the con or something. I'm not sure how they rationalize it. But I have a husband. And I call him the Big Red Bear. The reason why is my husband looks like one of the people off the show The Vikings. So I just make sure that I'm with my husband, and he usually makes sure that people who are like that don't touch me, because Peggy, it is a problem, especially if you do the sexier costumes, and I do the sexier costumes sometimes. So it's they're starting to tell people now that that cause is not consent. That's actually what a lot of insurance companies and other people who run conventions are saying. Cause is not consent. So people are starting to learn that, but it is a concern. It's a concern enough that Jo has to sort of steel herself so that people don't feel like they have permission. And I definitely understand her on that, because I feel that sometimes, my costumes attract men between 20 and 50. I don't usually get a lot of children, and I don't usually get a lot of women. So for me, it's a huge concern. So yeah, depends upon your audience, depends upon your costume.
Sometimes you can tell when the people are approaching you if it's going to be not a problem, but if it's off a little bit, you can kind of tell for the most part.
You absolutely can.
And then you put your guard up, and then if not, then it's just like you're very welcoming and hi, I'll take a picture with you. But I usually have, if I have that vibe, I'm usually I have this don't even think about it vibe that comes out, and it's like it's almost like they stop and then go to like the left.
Yeah. You know what I think is confusing about that, the psychology there, is that because you're exhibiting yourself, it's like psychologically people might not even think about, about asking. I think sometimes if they don't understand the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tricky when you get people who are new to conventions. Like, if you have someone who's just like, oh, I really like that costume, let me just take a quick picture so I can have it in my file. They don't quite understand, like, you should probably go up and ask them if you could take their picture, because they don't just want random people taking unflattering photos from weird angles.
And then you wind up on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. And with me, most of my cosplays are like full body cosplays, and like you just see my face. Everything else is completely covered. I don't know why. And this past C2E2 convention, my best friend and I from college, we dressed up as Crowley and Aziraphale from Good Omens. Yeah. And a guy, you could tell he had a vibe about him. You can tell because they're kind of confident, but also like, are they going to do it? Sort of a vibe. And he came up and he was like, hey, so I totally ship you guys. And we're just like, okay. And he's like, can I get a picture of you guys like holding hands or doing something romantic? I'm like, okay. I look at my friend and I'm like, I mean, and it's kind of an awkward conversation to have. We're just like, okay, we'll hold our hands, we'll turn our backs, and you can take a picture. But it's like, if but
that's on the dark web now.
Exactly. If you guys have an awkward question, think it through, maybe run it past a friend and see if they think, okay, that's kosher. No, you can't do that, dude. Like, it's one of those things where it's good to have a con buddy to run things by. But also don't be afraid to say no. Like, I just looked at my friend, we're like, you know what? It's the third day of the con. We're all dead tired. Let's just, okay. But like, don't be afraid to say no to a picture or to a pose or something.
It's true. And I think that's good advice. I mean, but it's also important for people to understand the nature of our costumes. So if an 8-year-old boy runs up to me and he hugs me and he comes up to my waist and he looks up at me with these sweet little eyes and he's gentle and kind and he just wants to be involved with me because I stand out, like PJ was saying, I'm just going to look down at him and I'm going to be in character and I'm going to treat him like gold. It's just when it's the 20 to 50-year-old men who have a completely different idea of what touching is supposed to be and what touching is not supposed to be when you're dressed in some of these characters. And it's not enough to just tell us that we shouldn't dress like that. It's also the fact that we have a right to be able to emulate these characters and bring this pretend world to life. So I think it's great that somebody brought this up.
Well, and I also see it's a two-sided coin, because you also have men who cosplay in some more of the like smaller bits covered costumes. I don't know how to word this. I don't want to say risque, but like there's smaller bits. And then you get some of the, for lack of a better word, thirsty girls who just come up and they're like, oh, can I just like do this pose with you and like this and this? And every time I see that, I'm like, but what if someone came up to you and asked for that? You got to think about that. So it's like, even for male cosplayers, I feel bad for everyone.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways. It's just, there's a difference between like, I don't mind if they sexualize some of these characters. Some of these characters should be sexualized. It's just important to realize that we're just cosplayers. We're not actually those characters.
We aren't the actual characters. Even though Joe may look exactly like Batwoman and the computer thinks.
Joe, let me just say, this one's really scary to me. Like, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
I'm sorry. It was, so I found a photo of this, and I wanted the Ouija board on my face, and then it obviously says goodbye, and then the Ouija handle is the thing that you move around is my hand, and there's a Ouija board under there, and then the photographer made the word of the gentleman I'm supposed to be trying to get in touch with float. But that is all done on my face.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't want to give you a nightmare.
The contacts, that.
No, it's really well done.
Black contacts. How do those even feel?
Joe, is that stencil and stipple?
Sorry?
Is that your face painting? Is that stencil and stipple? Like, did you put a stencil on your face and stipple it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no contacts. The photographer blacked out my eyes for me.
Oh,
because
you like poured ink in your eye.
That's interesting.
They're just. I can't do scleras. They freak me out.
I want to give him a shot, but I am like really worried if I did, it'd like roll into the back of my head.
Yes, and they suffocate your pupils.
Well, it's really important that you get super high quality effects, contact lenses. And it's very important that you speak with a doctor, your eye doctor, about that. It's not good enough to just walk in anywhere and grab them. Even if they don't have a prescription, I would like to tell everyone here, especially as a registered esthetician, that your eye health and, the fact that people could have even have tried them on and things like that, don't compromise your personal safety or your eye health. Please go and speak with your eye doctor or a eye doctor. You can even walk in Walmart and ask them, and they will refer you to somebody who can provide the proper effects lenses that you can use. And they're not even that expensive, guys. Just go see a professional if you want to make this happen for yourselves, okay?
Yeah, don't mess around. Don't be cheap with anything that goes in your eye or any prosthetics that could permanently disfigure you.
Yeah, be careful.
I've heard some more stories.
There's a lot of stores online that are selling these cheap, like they're promoting it as, oh, buy this for $5 and do an awesome cosplay. No. You want to do that one right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at you! Look beautiful again here.
It's like Braveheart or something, or what is this?
It's Kratos from God of War.
It is. That's God of War, and she's female Kratos.
Yep.
That axe is incredible.
It is actually a prop from a Halloween store.
No way.
Yeah, it's all foam.
That's great.
That is so cool. Foam. I need that in the trunk of my car.
Foam is
and
so
I need all of that from scraps of leather, except for the piece that goes across my chest. All of the rest of it is all scraps that I had in the house. That
is wicked.
Great. Also, my favorite video game. So thank you for doing it. I was playing this when it first came out.
Or a Netflix series. I really want them to do something like that with him.
Yeah.
Because you could totally be cast in that.
Old man.
Yeah, he's an old man, and he's
do
like
a gender bender.
7, and he's like 300 pounds of solid
Do
muscle.
gender benders.
He could be like twice the size.
Yeah,
You said you can wear heels, right? So there you go.
He also has several sex scenes in like harems.
Oh,
So
that is what is it? Bertha or Betsy? Betsy the Spider.
Oh,
That's Betsy the Spider. I think cosplaying with live animals, like people who have like seeing eye dogs and stuff, I love that. I would love to cosplay with a snake or with a tarantula. Because have you guys ever touched it, like held a tarantula?
that's a hard pass for me.
It's just like hairy, right?
It feels like pipe cleaners. It weighs nothing. You feel like it's air, and it moves so slow. And if you look it in the eye, just don't look it in the eye. But other than that, it's adorable.
And here's Kitty with more spooky animals. In case Joe hasn't seen this one, I don't know.
Oh gosh, yeah. I if you haven't realized, I will do anything when it comes to cosplay and creepy animals. Yes, that was an adorable snake. That's a real snake.
It is. Somebody brought it to the con, believe it or not.
No,
they had a whole booth. It's like a reptile house, and they do a booth at a Comic-Con in Chicago, and you just give a donation. And if you have a Slytherin cosplay, if you have the Slytherin robes, you can get a picture with a snake. You can hold all these animals. I think they had like frogs. They had a giant like kimono dragon-esque lizard, and it's my favorite booth to go to. And I specifically sought them out because of that cosplay.
I just love Katie as a redhead. Like it suits her.
Yeah. I think I did a poll at work, and everyone said that they liked my blonde wig better, because that's actually, Joe, you and I have something in common, and that we've both cosplayed the 13th Doctor.
Ooh.
Yes,
Can we get a side-by-side on that? Can we get a side-by-side on that?
PJ's a tech guy. I don't know.
I don't. The 13. Oh yeah, I do have it. Yeah, it's right here.
Please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me work on the side by side for a sec.
Thank you, sir.
I have another Doctor Who image.
Up, screenshot them and throw them up.
I do have another Doctor Who image of Joe though, which is very interesting.
Yes.
This one's really interesting. It's really cool, actually.
I'm so terrified.
What's coming up?
It's the one with you and Peter.
Oh, that one was cool.
Oh, so I didn't know it was him.
You didn't know it was him?
I was the cosplayer.
Oh, that's hysterical, Joe. You didn't know it was him?
Too funny.
So we went to so there was a Doctor Who convention in Baltimore, and I knew that Peter Capaldi
She was
there.
probably like, "Don't you touch me now. Get away."
Yeah, exactly. He's the one with the lusty look.
Oh no. Oh no.
The actress who does Missy. I love her.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're walking around, and she sees me, and I'm dressed as Madame Vastra. My other best friend William is the 5th Doctor, and Maggie is Jenny in her riding equestrian attire. So we're walking around. She sees us. She's like, "Oh, you look fabulous." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. So excited." We're at the elevators, and William wants a picture. And Maggie turns around, and there's Peter Capaldi. And
look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing, Joe.
No, it was Peter freaking Capaldi. He's one of a kind.
He's a good cosplayer. Oh, he's doing the look. And so
Oh
I was
my
like,
god.
You look amazing, Joe.
She does. Beauty.
That picture is a classic. Wow.
You thought he was a cosplayer?
so I made that costume, and then I bought the latex back part of the head. It was the last run that guy was ever doing, and then Maggie did the prosthetics for my face. It was our first time. No, it wasn't our first time. It was our second time doing them. But she had done pieces instead of like trying to do the whole thing. But
yeah,
Peter Capaldi came up to me, and I was like, "Oh, hello, doctor. And he was like, Madam Vastra. And I was like, I looked into his eyes and I was like, oh, what a nice cosplayer. Oh my God, that's Peter Capaldi. Maggie's looking at William, turns around, and William's like, Maggie, take the picture. She's like, stop. Peter Capaldi is with Joe. He's like, you are not my friend right now.
That is so.
That is awesome,
like,
Joe.
He turns around and everyone was just in awe. He's like, well, would somebody take a picture? And I'm just like frozen.
Good. So you realized it was him before he walked away.
Yeah, he wasn't leaving. He stood there for a good 2 minutes just staring at me. And he was just like, I don't know what to say to him. I started talking in a British accent as Madame Vastra, and we had a very, very nice conversation.
You stayed in character? That's great. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. I bet you he loved it. Good thinking, Joe.
Wow.
Oh.
The fact that I didn't know who he was at first, I was like, oh, this is a great Capaldi cosplayer.
I love how it isn't even a doctor cosplayer, it's a Capaldi cosplayer.
Joe is probably like, hey, you're really good, but you should lighten up on the accent.
I'm not sure about that accent. It's a little iffy.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Scottish.
Oh, you got a Scottish. Oh my gosh. I would be dead on the floor, I think. If it was more than just like a passing, oh, very nice cosplay. He came up and he was like, hello. Like,
and he was standing there staring at us, and she's like, sir, we have to go. And he's like, oh, no, somebody needs to take pictures of this. I was like,
oh my gosh! Dude, I mean,
I love this story. This is a great story.
You're green in your cosplay. I'm green with envy right now because that is
very good.
Gosh,
play, Katie.
Oh,
very cute.
I really want to do a Missy cosplay.
You should.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Please. And then, you could always have someone just pop up as the doctor, and it may or may not be Peter Capaldi, but
right.
That would be, I love it when actors, though, they get the cosplay. You can tell, you have David Tennant, you have Peter Capaldi, you have Matt Smith, the people in Doctor Who are fans of Doctor Who and even other shows, and they will stop and take the time and be like, hey, hold up, put everything to the side. You are cool. And they turn into little kids almost, and it's, I love it.
Yeah.
Like I met if you guys are fans of cartoonists and animators on YouTube, The Odd Ones Out. I met him up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I cosplayed him and stuff. He actually was walking to his panel and took time to stop and talk with me again. He's like, oh, I want to let you know, I posted it on Instagram. It's got like 1 million likes, something like that. I'm just like, I'm sorry, you're James. You're talking to me. What? So I think that's the one thing I got to get better at cons is not going just shocked faced when you meet someone famous.
I like that you care, and I'm glad that you got to have that moment because that's the whole reason why we do what we do. And so it's kind of like Russian dolls. You were the star for everyone who was at the con, and then you got to be a little starstruck. So you know what? Never change who you are. You care. And you know what? You're not afraid to have fun. So I always want you to be awestruck, and I always want you to be who you are. I think that's a great story, Katie.
I think that we should, for cons, have shirts that say never be afraid to be who you are, and just mass produce them, because if you ever want a group of people to just accept you no matter what, unless you're maybe like a murderer or something, walk into a Comic-Con, because no matter what you do, what you are, you will be most likely accepted by at least one person there.
Yes. Or just a group, any fandom, all fandoms.
I'll never forget the first time I took my husband to a con. I don't think that he was fully prepared, but he's super supportive. But everyone, there were about 5 different people all standing in a hallway, and we were all from like comics and TV shows and what have you. And we all, without talking, just suddenly made a scene like we were going to go into combat. And a whole bunch of people just started taking pictures, and we walked away, and my husband looked at me and he said, "Aw, you nerds, you're with your people." And it was so weird. It was like almost like a flash mob, but we didn't talk and we didn't plan it. We're in a hall, we just did it. Everyone took pictures, and then we just walked away. It was so fun.
Do you have a shirt for your husband that says handler or like?
I gotta get one.
I made one for my dad for his birthday, because my dad and I, that is our thing. We do cosplay and Comic-Con together, and he is my handler, and I made him a shirt that said cosplay dad, and on the back it has a list of every cosplay he's helped me with, and I'm going to add on to it. So it's, oh yeah, love it. He's the only reason I was able to do this cosplay. Yeah. That is a Lego man made completely to scale based off the original Lego patent out of cardboard.
Please don't cut the channel. Please don't cut the channel. She made it. It's cardboard. Please stop. We own this. We made this. Don't cut our channel, please.
I just wanted Joe to see this because I thought this was amazing, Katie.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to probably remake it, because that was only like single layer corrugated cardboard. I got it for free from the cardboard factory next to my college. What a coincidence. But now I'm going to do it with a double ply.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no template for tracing or anything. Every single piece, I had to take it from the patent, convert it from millimeters into inches, scale it up to a 5'6" person, and make sure that everything, actually fit together. I made it in 3 days, one of which was after watching the Back to the Future trilogy. So I was just in a full nerd zone frenzy. And I wore that to class because I was back in college, and I wore it to my classes for Halloween. One of my professors was really into Lego. He came out of his office and he just goes, "Oh my God." It was one of the most pure reactions.
Looking good, baby.
You are great.
Beautiful.
You rock this, Joe.
So good.
Yeah. I loved Catwoman growing up. And this is the version I grew up on. Like the 60s Batman on TV.
This is the good stuff right here. This is the good stuff. So beautiful. Great job. I love your hair.
Thank you.
I love the fact that you didn't go with like real bangs, that you found a way to. That was a stroke of genius, Joe.
Yep.
Because
I like the way you're walking around with a diamond.
Bangs are actually a cry for help. Women know this, right? If you have bangs, it's a cry for help. Something happened.
Something went very wrong.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. You look.
I love all the pictures that we've looked at tonight. You have embodied the characters, and it's just your poses. You can just tell from a static photo that you are fully into that cosplay, both parts, the costume and the role play. And it's just, I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's the actor side of you for sure coming out.
Yes, for sure.
The next one I'm putting up, I love the next one I'm putting up. This is a great picture, Joe. And this is a great picture. Well, Katie's putting it up.
Yep. Sorry, I have the spinning wheel for a second.
Oh my God, you're like female MacGyver.
I will put that on a shirt too.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It's a gorgeous costume.
So this is the female version of Serpentor, who is the Cobra Emperor.
Now that's not a real snake, I assume.
They're two fake snakes, but their heads are adjustable, so I can make them look up and down.
Crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. That cape is so heavy. So heavy.
Really?
Because it's satin on the outside, green satin, and gold satin on the inside, but it's that heavy, like, wedding satin. Because it was on sale.
Yes.
Why not kill myself sewing satin?
It's so funny.
It's fine.
Oh Oh, that
I
must
do
have
have
been.
to say that your head reminds me so much of Vol. I just want to throw fruit into your mouth because you look like Vol. You look like the apple. Like, I feel like I should like paint my face white, put on like a powdered wig, and just chuck fruit at you. Yes, Vol. Please inform me, Vol. It's great. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I think I can fit an apple between the teeth.
That would be so
Just
great.
walking around
Realize how
blind.
many people from Star Trek would completely flip out if you did that, because if you'd be hitting two different things at once, people would be like, I got you, baby. That's TOS the apple.
Crossover.
Oh, it's funny.
Well, I'm just in awe of how many cosplays you actually completed. Like, good heavens. That will take me years.
I start every year now, and I just at the end of the year I go through all my pictures, and for that year I have an album of just what did I make this year, and so I try every year probably around 20 to 30 costumes.
Wow.
Now, which one is this, Joe?
This is Silk Spectre 2 from The Watchmen.
Yeah.
So you are very
latex suit.
Oh wow.
So I had to get powdered down. This is getting a little this is the after dark part.
Yeah, it's okay. They didn't have a problem with our vibrating lightsaber, so we're fine.
Yeah.
So I had to get powdered down.
It was purring like a kitten, which actually made it worse. Wee woo, wee woo.
Are the firemen still with us?
Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get powdered down, and then it's the body suit, and then there is a latex corset that goes on top, and then the belt is made out of warblout on a hinge that kind of opens up front ways. Yeah. And the leggings are all latex, and I'm just wearing patent like shiny patent leather red stiletto black stilettos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it is very appropriate that you are on the channel So Many Fandoms, because holy cow,
you have so many fandoms.
Wow.
She's going to be your spokeswoman now.
Yeah.
The official spokesperson of the So Many Fandoms is the So Many Fandoms lady.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the
And
firefighters are still with us.
This is great.
There. Come on, spinning wheel of death.
Oh, there you go. Nice job.
Yes. 13.
Yep. I've seen your 13. You do great.
Oh, thanks. If DJ's on here, he's probably gonna lose his mind. Just be like, there's 2 of them now. No, but doesn't it feel? It just feels so cool putting on the trench coat, and you're just like,
just pockets. I'm just excited that there's pockets.
Yes. Oh, the struggle. It's so nice when they build it into a character to have pockets.
So those pants, you can't. I don't know if you can scroll or move down.
Oh, I will move.
Yeah,
good.
I'll do it.
Okay.
One
so
second.
those pants were a 3XL, but I found them in a thrift store.
Oh, there's no image there, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. They were very, very big, but the color was so perfect. And they were $7. And I was like, I am going to make another set of pants out of this. So I literally put them on and chopped away like 6 inches on each side, and then new pants.
See, with mine, it's so hard to find the right color. Like, those pants are ridiculous to find. But I found one
color rather than the fit, and because I didn't want to dye. I didn't want to dye pants.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I found some online. They were on clearance. It was the last pair, and they were a 2XL. I'm like, I'm just gonna tie it together with a little baby pin and just hope for the best.
So, did you walk like a duck, like Whitaker does, Joe?
Sorry.
Did you walk like a duck, like Whitaker does?
Almost, yes. Until I got the suspenders, I was having problems.
The suspenders are key. They are a godsend.
Yes. This is the Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Wow.
She's a Uber operative.
That is so. You look like a completely different person from cosplay to cosplay. I think that's the part that's totally throwing me.
Yeah.
My mom did not believe that I did the 13th Doctor. She was like, "That's not you."
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
We argue, like, my fiance had to like show her pictures and then of me building it, and then she was just like, "No."
Oh my gosh.
And the art on that is
made by making pants.
The armor is made by Pit Viper Studios, and it's resin, so it kind of weighs a bit.
Yeah. And also just the amount of materials we've listed through tonight. We've had satin, we've had leather, we've had resin, we've had foam. You cover everything. Official professional cosplayer right there.
Well, now I really want to get into prosthetics. So,
ooh. Now, would you make your own, or would you be like just? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Let me know how to make them.
I need to figure out how to do a head cast while in isolation.
Oh, that would be difficult.
No small feet. I need to do a head cast in isolation.
Tuesday, it's fine.
What will I do on Wednesday? Joe, you're so funny.
I did. John Paladin. I did make pants for Bob O'Reilly for his Garon. So the story behind that is Bob O'Reilly needed pants for his Gowron costume that had a zipper because he has to go to the bathroom. And so I put a zipper in his new invisible pants. And it took me to go to Los Angeles into the fabric district for 3 hours in one shop. And I finally found the perfect fabric for his pants. Because it's Bob O'Reilly. I can't have him going out there looking.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all John's fault, by the way. I blame John for all of this.
This one's great, Joe. I love this one.
That is Hela before she gets her giant headpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see it's a different. There's different greens. The one is more on the boobs or the breast. Is darker. It blends more. The fabric itself, if you can zoom in a little bit, PJ, on the arm. That was the first time I learned how to texturize fabric.
Oh,
so
I
used a Cricut and heat pressed ovals. But this is a learning moment. I didn't press hard for the entire 30 seconds on some areas, and as you could see, it like under the arms it has rubbed off, whereas everywhere else it's fine. But yeah, that was a learning moment.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll probably be remaking this.
Cricut is definitely a system that has saved a lot of time for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find, there it is. So I've already mentioned Good Omens a lot, but I made a Nice and Accurate Prophecies of Agnes Nutter book, and I took off the wording because I need to redo it. But like cutting that by hand would take ages, and I can't even imagine like larger cosplay pieces. Something along the lines of a cutting machine will save you,
and
at least save you from carpal tunnel.
Would have taken years.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so cool. It's just, you have so many cosplays. I just want to cosplay now. I want to make stuff. This is a bad, I have no fabric. I take that back. I have one piece of fabric. I'm going to make something out of it, probably. You have inspired.
I'm putting up one that Raquel was, when she was talking about getting into trouble at the cons.
Woohoo!
You have an actual security guard come over and be like, ma'am.
Actually, this so I normally I teach like comms and tech, but you know, we've had an economic downturn, so I've been teaching grammar and English. So one day I showed up to the school as the grammar commissioner, the grammar police. And what's worse is that I actually have a Chihuahua who I put in a bee costume, and she was the enforcer of the spelling bee, and I said that it was a sting operation.
Ah.
So it's really, really, I'm a sad, sad human being.
Wait, you walked into a school dressed like that?
I teach adults. And I zipped all
into an adult school dressed like that?
No, I zipped all the way to the top. But when my daughter was taking these pictures, my daughter was like, "Come on, Mom." So I like
a little cheeky.
So this is the grammar police, and so yes, if you've broken some laws, I'm gonna come after you with my little dog too.
Oh my gosh. That is fantastic. I still can't get over that you wore that to an adult school. Like an elementary school, I think that would probably turn out fine. But it's when you get to the adult level.
They liked it. But remember, I was zipped all the way up, right? So
yes.
Zipped all, you gotta zip all the way up. If you zip all the way up, all the thoughts go away.
I doubt that very much.
Whatever you believe there. But let's be honest, though, if you had your dog with you, I'd be paying attention to the dog. So,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I wish you could show that picture, because she has a look on her face like, I can't believe you did this to me, because she's in a full bee costume with the little antennae sticking up and everything. It's actually quite ridiculous. I'm a ridiculous person.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who makes my pet wear cosplay.
Right?
Radar has a little NASA bomber jacket, and he has a bumblebee costume. He has a very good King George costume.
Yeah.
He really pulls it off. It's the eyes. It's always the eyes.
It's always the eyes. Yeah, I actually have a box of costumes for my dog. I'm that ridiculous. A full box costume. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, not a grammar Nazi. There'll be no grammar Nazi.
No, grammar police.
Grammar police. And I'm a commissioner. I'm the commish.
And that's how YouTube's the algorithm's just like, wait a second, what are they up to again?
Them. Oh God.
Yeah, it's you guys. Oh my God.
Joe, is this? I have a few pictures here. I think are you, but you should confirm if this is you or not.
Okay.
Let's see.
I like how people can't tell, and you have to confirm. I like that. That's an issue for you, Joe.
That's when you know you're such a good cosplayer.
That's you? Wow.
That is me. Yep.
Beautiful.
You can pull off any costume.
Look at the look on her face.
That's a great picture.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Sorry. I'm looking at your face though. You look like the what's her name? For Doctor Who, it's Partners in Crime with the the nanny lady who takes care of the little fat blobs. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is absolutely horrible. Someone in the chat help me out. Your face, you look exactly like a character from Doctor Who.
I don't watch Doctor.
Which one?
I wish I could help.
It's the one with the 10th Doctor and Donna, and they reunite, and it's the... Oh, frick. Okay, I'm going to send you a picture if I can figure out the person's name. Let's see. No one's helping me in the comments.
Tink, it does look so pro. Yeah, these are some really, really nice comments. And thank you for the comments and the compliments, Tink. Very kind of you. Thank you to everyone. Yeah, a lot of her cosplay is like ridiculous. It's like better than the OG. I totally agree, Tink. It looks so good.
Madam Foster.
Joe, did you meet these people there, or did you plan on meeting or on posing with them?
We planned it. They were in. These are Crimson Guardsmen, and that is the Crimson Baroness version. So she has the costume that I was in the black with the resin. This is the red version to that.
Yeah. Wow.
Looks so good.
PJ, can you send me your, if you want, there is a photographer who is on Bill Waters who would like to send you a few photos of me at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How does he? Is he on? All right, Bill
Well, hello
Waters.
there.
Here.
Hi
I'm
there.
Those wings.
I'm gonna give him my Twitter so he can. Send
Okay.
I'm gonna give him my Twitter.
Those wings are really impressive. I tried like concept drawing up wings for my Crowley cosplay, and that just fell apart. How did you do those?
So this was, I have to say, the wings were made by my fiance in 4 days. And
Oh, wow.
he literally worked on them morning, noon, and night. And they are made, so we made them with PVC and then chicken wire, and then we hot glued the feathers from the bottom up. And the problem was, this is another learning moment. Feathers tend to curve. And so they had literally cut up the back of my legs in that costume that night. So I ended up, I moved from my apartment to my house, and I moved those, but I ended up throwing them out because he was like, we need to make a better version of these. You cannot wear these, literally cutting up the back of your legs. And I was like, at the con, just blood dripping down my legs from the chicken.
Gosh.
Oh wow.
Even though we had put feathers on the inside and the outside, it's just the edges were so sharp and were turning in that the feathers were going straight and the chicken wire was curving, and I was just getting stabbed by the chicken wire. But this is the sorceress from He-Man 2004.
Yeah, another tetanus shot. This is cosplayers get lots of tetanus shots, folks at home.
How many tetanus shots do we have between all of us?
Yeah, we're the tetanus shot queens here.
I feel like though there should be like a tetanus shot awareness. That, like once you get to 10 years past, you just go in automatically. Make sure you're okay.
Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, I love this one. Very pretty.
This is just like, this is a fashion show in and of itself. Like,
It is.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
This is like.
I hope everyone is enjoying this as much as we are, because oh my gosh.
So he's gonna send you. So I did a dread costume, and that is my most expensive pieced together, because they only did certain number of molds for the female judges, and I had to wait almost 2 years for that to come up.
Oh my god.
This is my original Linda Carter.
Wow, you have like contacts in or something?
So good.
Yes, this I do have contacts in. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So
Very
this
nice.
is by a company that's not in service anymore. But they were servicing dominatrix. Raquel, this is going downhill very fast.
I know, I can feel it. I feel it. Joe, don't worry. I'll be here to protect you. I will make sure you are a bumper car. You will not go off the road.
The maker of the costume, it was a dominatrix costume.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So they made costumes for dominatrix. But they were 2 gay men. Great. Fantastic. Except that they didn't understand that not all women are made the same. Like, I have very European Greek hips. And
hey, yes.
they are the woman that one of the clients he had was a very square shaped lady, and he was like, why aren't your pants fitting? So if you zoom in on my hip, you can see he had to put an inch of leather in because I couldn't get them on and I couldn't get them off, and my legs were going blue one day at Dragon Con when I put these on, and they were lace up underwear, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
So he had to come over to my room and literally have my legs on his shoulders and rip them off me because I couldn't get them off. And we had 3 people trying to, like, me pulling my skin through the leg hole and them pulling my bottoms down.
Were you whipping them while they were doing it? Were you whipping them while they were doing it? Just get those off of me. Whipping them? You
guys are bound and determined to get us shut down again, aren't you?
Well, we had to address the dominatrix part of it. I can't
get over we're talking about dominatrix, leather work, all this pulling off the pants, having men pull off your pants, whipping them, and the bot doesn't care. Hello, YouTube bot. Get your priorities.
Yeah. This is hilarious. I think you look great. I think you look beautiful, sweetheart. I think you
look fabulous.
Nothing but net here. This is just gorgeous. You look beautiful, and you're rocking it.
I have this costume. I got a mannequin that I'm going to be putting her on, and I'm retiring her to be on the mannequin. Yeah.
So how often do you rewear your costumes?
It depends on the costume. The Wonder Woman I wear often because I do hospital visits and charity stuff. Like the Klingons, probably twice a year. But something like the Doctor I've done a couple times. Some of the other ones maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will wear around 15 at Dragon Con. 16 is my absolute limit, and I couldn't. It's a 24-hour con. It's fine.
Still, good Lord.
24 hours, 5 days, 3 days, 3 costumes a day.
I do like the Wonder Woman, though, because, you know, as we say in the cosplay community, there are a lot of people where the costumes were the people. That particular original gangster Wonder Woman, you are front and center. You are rocking that cosplay. It's not rocking you, baby. You're rocking it. Great.
Linda Carter was my Wonder Woman. Into Gal, and now I'm all about Gal. But
now you like Gal? Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Great.
This is She Spawn.
That is cool.
The mask is made by Rebirth MXD, and the foam pieces, the legs and the arms. But the costume itself, the body is made by a latexy leather and then vinyl on top.
Could we turn down Peggy's comment for just 1 second so that we can see these boots? Sorry, guys. Let's just take that down because no one can see the boots.
Wait for it. Where's the spinning?
Much better. Thank you. Sorry, we'll get to that in a second, Peggy. Look at this. Now we've got the chains. We've got the whips. We got the leather. We got the chains. We got the vibrating weapons. And now, this is fine. This is fine. This is a PG show. Fine. We're fine.
Sure, PG. Let's go with that.
I love these boot covers. These are great.
Yeah.
Tell me about the boot covers.
So it's made by just foam, but it's like a polyurethane. It expands, and then Rebirth carved into it, and then put the spikes on, and then I could stick my foot through it. And so it's literally just you slide it on your foot.
It's like a leg warmer, but awesome.
Yeah. Boot covers are great. We were talking earlier about footwear and how we all manage to walk around in this kind of footwear. And Joe and I were talking about boot covers. Well, here it is, folks, up close. Boot covers, they're so wonderful. Keep your feet in shoes that feel good and just slap the boot cover over top.
Yep.
Yep, definitely. I agree with Peggy. We were missing chains. It was not a complete, task until we had the chains.
Yes.
Yep.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
My word.
I feel like this is my first and only time I will be asked to be on the
show. No! You'll be back more. Keep it coming. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I want to know. I'm going to have to go back and look and see how many of your cosplays we've gone through tonight, because it has to be at least 20. It's
yeah.
I gotta say, you're like putting Eric to shame, which is
Ooh,
which is hard, Joe.
I don't know if you guys know this.
What is this? I love your wig.
is that the computer graphics gnome that magically
It's
produced?
hysterical. I don't know what it is, but
Is that the production gnome you were talking about earlier? How dare you mistreat it? Is there a union? We need a union here.
He's taped up on a bat.
What are you doing, Joe?
he's on a bat.
So this character, oh my god, it's my spirit character. All right, if you've not seen Turbo Kid, it is a 1980s post-apocalyptic BMX bikes movie.
Oh my.
Those words shouldn't go together. Why do they go together?
Right, Katie? Right?
This character is a friendship android, and she does not understand what's happening. So I didn't want to see this movie, but my fiance was like, "You are this character. You're always so happy and positive and cheerful and ridiculous." And then I did and the actress who does this character is French Canadian. She's from Quebec, and I was like, "All right, now I have to do this character." So he got me the gnome stick and cut a bat, and then we stuck the gnome, and I chopped off one of his legs because in the movie he doesn't have one of his legs, and then I taped him up onto the bat, and I was screaming during the entire con, "This is my gnome stick!"
Oh.
I love Troy's reaction, 6:28 p.m.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Troy's like, you have a gnome on a stick.
I want to. How many people recognize your character though?
Not many. The ones that did though freaked out because I wasn't on a bike. I just was running around with this gnome stick, screaming at people that's my gnome stick. They didn't really prepare for a crazy person with a giant helmet.
I feel like in my profession that all of my essays are like a giant gnome stick, Noam Chomsky. Those are my Noam Chomsky sticks. That's what. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just told that nerd joke.
I know we got to wrap up soon, Katie, but
yes,
we're gonna have to have this young lady back because I mean we're getting we have so much more, but I'm gonna put one of the pictures up that Bill sent us, and I got to tell you, just by looking at this, you should be cast like on Game of Thrones or something because this picture is just wow.
What are you doing? Wait, let's see. Oh wow, so beautiful.
You get into the role, like oh my god.
He does.
So that is my most expensive costume. Yeah, so that shoulder piece is molded from the originals that were used on the movie. The helmet that I have from it is the same guy painted it who painted Carl Urban's helmet. That was very expensive.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like we only scratched the surface with you, Joe. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we just scratched the surface of what you can do. And I just think you have such a delightful personality. You are so fun to be around. You're terrific and you're beautiful. We have to have you back.
Oh, absolutely. If you'll come back, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I would love to be back. You guys are amazingly funny, smart, very nerdy, strong women. I love it. I love that I got to meet you guys and spend time with you.
Yes.
And you too.
Yes.
Yeah, PJ. Yeah, he's the Johnny Carson of streamers. That's what I call him. I think he's so good. Everybody just loves him. He sits behind the desk and he makes it all happen. He's just sipping his wine, bringing on all the talent, just making it all happen.
He is fantastic. We don't say it enough, PJ. You are fantastic.
Ed McMahon. Can somebody do that for me? Just cosplay an Ed McMahon, and then one day we'll do a show where we've got PJ on, and then we can
We gotta interview PJ.
Yes,
we gotta interview him.
You should, PJ. You should have all the regulars, and we could just each ask you one interview question. It's all about you.
Right?
That'll be the title of it. It's all about me.
All right, maybe next year.
We gotta make this happen, guys. Everyone in the comments, tell them we have to make this happen.
When Katie,
Listen, Katie has to go to sleep. This woman needs to be on air to do the do the weather, and it's getting really late for her. But so I just want to interruptus Raquelis, and just say thank you so much to Katie for being so wonderful. And same for you, Joe. There are a lot of Greeks in this room. I think that you're just dynamite. And please do us the honor and the pleasure of coming back and bringing just your beautiful sunshine personality, your intelligence, and your obvious, ridiculously wonderful talent. Thank you so much, PJ. Thank you to the whole chat for everything. You guys are wonderful, beautiful people. Thank you so much. We'd be nothing without you.
Oh,
thank you guys. It's been wonderful, and I hope I get to meet you guys in person one day.
We all need to meet up at Star Trek Las Vegas. Once that happens again, let's all meet up.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, look, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And you're definitely going to be back, Joe. You are a huge fan favorite. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Joe, for coming.
Awesome. Yes, thank you. And everyone have a good night. Bye.
Oh, wait, Katie.
Oh, no. I pressed. Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me just say, tomorrow we are having on Eric the Smoke Moran, who is going to be talking to us about the cast and crew of the Planetary Step Fam film series.
Woohoo!
And I think that Joe will be on sometime in the near future when he wants to get the whole cast together. And we might have her on as part of the cast again. So very soon. So
beautiful.
So looking forward to that.
Tomorrow night, I will be with the Pegasus Actual podcast. Please go to Supreme Heretic on Twitter.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
It's a writer's room. It's where a bunch of writing nerds and editors go, and we talk about Battlestar Galactica, both as craft and, of course, as fans. So I hope to see you over there. We'll be on after, I think. It'll be close. But, have to plug my other show.
Yes. And Joe, do you have anything you want to plug or talk about?
I still haven't posted anything on my YouTube channel, but I now have been approved because it took a couple days to approve for live streaming on YouTube. So I'm excited about that. But you can find me on Instagram at Joe Colton Cosplay, on Twitter, which I'm being better about, and have turned on all notifications for J Colton Cosplay, and then Facebook as Joe Colton Cosplay. So.
I will put all those links up.
Instagram is sensational. Your Instagram is sensational. People have to see it to believe it. Get your bums over to her Instagram. It is hot. It's gorgeous. It's just, I love it.
I want to follow you guys on Instagram as well. So you're gonna have to send me your Instagram and Facebook pages, and we're gonna connect.
You're gonna get a lot of nerdy weather stuff. Let me just tell you that.
I'm totally okay.
With a few fandom forecasts, which actually, that's something I can plug. I'm thinking about doing a Hamilton fandom forecast. And I want to run something past you guys. You guys are getting an exclusive glimpse into the thinking process. So Hamilton, they don't have weather graphics back then in 1776. So what would you say if I did a fandom forecast on a chalkboard?
That would be so cute.
That would be cute.
We have a local theater group that I'm friends with, and I'm going to see if they have maybe a Revolutionary War getup, and just see if I can maybe do that in time for July 3rd when Hamilton comes out on Disney+.
Yeah. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad. See, this is the whole, make sure you have a friend, run an idea past them, make sure it's a good one. It's all come full circle.
You know, when I had restaurants, I actually, we used to hire an artist, and he used to come in and he would do chalkboards for us. And it was as though it were a painting or something. It was that good. So you might even want to hire a local artist, because a local artist can actually render the whole thing for you. And then you could just take a piece of chalk and draw the forecast over top of it. And it's not even that much money. I think we used to pay like $80 for him to draw out an entire beautiful picture of like food with a menu and stuff. Do it.
I'm gonna have to do that. PJ, I love your indication. Like that has been oh God, no, take it. Oh, we're moving.
It's a good picture.
It's a horrible picture. Burn it. No, why did I make it full screen? Go away.
So she is really a meteorologist, everybody. She's not making it up.
Like actually.
I actually am. I have the degree. I chase the tornadoes, and I have the scars to prove it.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Oh, I love it. Wait, I think Troy had a question on the previous stream. I'm gonna see if we can get that stream that was kicked off back. Heaven forbid that be lost, because there was so much that we had. Vibrating lightsabers, we had everything. We can't lose that. Oh, let's see. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again. This is fantastic, and seriously, you guys are great. Everyone in the comments, everyone on the stream, you three, you guys are the best. You make my week. Every Wednesday, you make my week.
The best fans, by the way. I have to say, like, so engaging. I need to learn from you guys.
They're incredible. Everyone in the comments. Peggy had some stellar questions. Like, just to give her a shout out. Like, oh. Awesome.
And thank you also again to Lorena for joining us before we had to leave.
So we'll have to have her back on again as well.
Yes, let's do this again. So this is not the end of the show. It's a pause. We're pausing. Yeah. We're all going to come back and do this again because it was super fun.
Oh my gosh, I love it. But now I'm going to bed. So thanks again, everyone. And we'll see you again soon.
Kalinita.
Kalinita.